Welcome, everyone. This is Cards and Coffee with Colleen and Kathy, and it is April 2025. So, this is the April edition. We do this once a month on a random Sunday. It's never necessarily like the third or fourth Sunday of the month. You just have to kind of watch for it, but it is always at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We try to keep it to an hour because we know we all have busy lives and busy days, and what Kathy and I are going to do here is we're going to just introduce ourselves briefly. We're going to talk a little bit about the energies of the collective that we may be feeling that's going on right now. And then we're going to jump in and with our intuition and our intuitive guidance, we're going to randomly pick a few people from the studio audience, the Zoom audience, to do a mini reading for. So let it be known, first of all, that again, this is being recorded. So if you do get chosen for a reading, know that I do upload this to my YouTube channel afterwards. And so if you don't want anything out there in the ethers that, you don't want people to know, then just kind of word your question accordingly. And the other thing to know is obviously Kathy and I in an hour's time cannot get to everybody to do a mini reading today, but some of the collective messages may hit home for you. And also when we're doing readings for the few people that we choose, some of what may come through for them may also very much resonate for you and something that's going on in your life. Um, so I guess I said all of that. I didn't really introduce myself. Some of you already know me, but some of you may not. I'm Colleen Lemma. I am an intuitive reader. I use Akashic records, tarot divination. I'm a professional astrologer. I use name vibration, the clairs, to connect with your angels and guides and bring forth messages. I'm also certified in past life regression and hypnosis and Reiki, and I teach a lot of metaphysical classes and subject matter. You can find me on my website, which is the same name as my meetup group, sacredsoulempowerment.com for the website. And my YouTube channel is under my name, Colleen Lemma, if you want to check that out. So I'm going to let Kathy introduce herself, and then we'll go ahead and get started on some collective messages that Kathy and I want to share. Kathy?
Hi, my name is Kathi Munson. I am a psychic medium, Reiki Master teacher, past life regressionist. Me and my spirit team connect together to bring what forward for you, what is in your highest and greatest good. I've been doing this for over 23 years, out of the closet anyway, for 23 years. And very, very blessed and honored to be here today. I'm going to keep it short. Blessed and honored. If you need to find me, it's intuitive cat spelt with a K, like my name, intuitivecat.com, intuitivecat at gmail.com. That will be changing soon. We're like this close to having the Voices of Enlightenment website if you're looking for me on Facebook. I also have Voices of Enlightenment meetup page that's new. So hopefully we can connect in some way, shape, or form outside of here and continue to be connected here. So thank you all for coming today. And I'll
Yes.
pass it back to Colleen.
Thank you. All right. So, we're done with the eclipses of March. We had a full moon already, so we're kind of in the in-between time, but we do have a new moon in Taurus coming up on April 27th, and that new moon in Taurus is going to be in Taurus. So the new moon is about new beginnings. And, with new beginnings, we want to set our intentions, and plant new seeds. And Taurus is a sign of manifestation. It's an earth sign. So it's about slow movement forward, determined, persevering, patient movement forward. And if everybody could please just mute yourselves for the time being, that would be great. I hear some background noise. So that new moon is coming up. And then to me, what I was getting in my meditation was more about the full moon, the next full moon that's coming up. The next full moon is on May 12th, but it's going to be in Scorpio. It's at 22 degrees of Scorpio. And they kept showing me in my meditation this big full moon. So since we already had the full moon in Libra, I was only assuming that it was going to be the full moon in Scorpio that they were talking about. And the message that kind of went along with that for the collective was there's going to be another big clearing, cleansing, purging that goes on for that full moon. And, full moons are about healing and letting go of energy, but Scorpio is about cleansing, purging, releasing, old stories and the shadow side of our beingness, et cetera, et cetera. So it makes sense that this one is going to be, a pretty powerful and potent, clearing, cleansing sort of energy. Along with that, they also talked about whether it be towards the full moon or in this present moment right now, that self-regulation was really important, emotional self-regulation, being kind of in this balanced state of peace and harmony, and really paying attention to your emotions. Um, you know, some of us stay so busy in our day-to-day lives that we don't often connect with our inner self or our emotional bodies. And my team, my angels and guides, were really saying that it's really more important now than ever to really pay attention to how am I feeling? What's going on for me emotionally? Where is this coming from? Do I know what it's connected to? Maybe it's connected to some old, past stuff, stuff from the home and family you grew up in, or maybe even past life stuff, and you won't be able to put your finger on it. A lot of times it might be triggered from our relationships with other people, but it's not the other people. It's what's going on with the other people that is triggering something within us. And so they were talking about doing what you can to stay grounded and centered. And again, bring healing to that emotional body. They were saying we're all obviously on this spiritual journey of evolution and growth, but it's now more than ever being, what do I want to say? Magnified. It's a magnification of the soul journey that we're on. And they were saying that friendships with other people, connecting with other people is more important now than ever. We've gotten as a society over the last few years, especially more in this kind of lone wolf sort of thing, and we connect on Zoom, but we don't often connect on person, or we don't look somebody in the eye when we're walking down the street and say hello anymore. And not everybody, of course, but so they were saying that we really need to like reconnect, learn how to reconnect, socialize, reach out to people, whether it's on the telephone or online or whether it's in person, especially. We need that kind of interconnectedness with people. Again, we need to understand what that really involves, because we're all interconnected. We're all a part of one source, which means we're all interconnected with each other. But there's this sometimes a disconnect that seems to be happening over the years, and more we're getting disconnected from other people, from ourselves, from our higher selves, from source. And so they were really talking about reconnecting with that. Opening up to your intuitiveness, your receptivity, your
Yeah,
inner
just like
guidance was also very important.
thing.
Okay.
Neither one of them was live.
Just one second. I got to mute some people here. Okay. And the last message I got, aside from, again, bringing healing to some of our shadow side, the opposite message was bright and cheery. So the other message was about hope and love and acceptance and joy, and again really immersing ourselves in that higher energy, because there's so much going on a collective level, and that continues to go on a collective level. It can bring us down, weigh us down. That's why we need to check in, and we need to clear ourselves, and we need to pull cords and emotionally regulate ourselves and tune into our own emotions and clear that. But what's on the other side of that? We want to connect with this joy, this happiness, this abundance, these blessings, or the energy of blessings, the energy of hope, the energy of the miracles and magic of the universe. And one way, it's not the only way, but the last thing I'll say, I think, is that the one way that they were showing me that is really helpful is by getting out in nature. And again, we're working, we're taking care of families, we're connecting with friends, but are we really getting out into the beauty and calm and peace of nature? Um, even if it's tending to a garden that you have in your backyard or plants that you have in your house, at least that's nature too. So any way that you can connect with nature, and I kind of fibbed because there was one last thing in some of the cards that I pulled. They were talking about being bold and confident and taking a step forward towards change and redirection, if that seems to be where you're being led. And as you're doing so, they were talking about your ancestors, your ancestral guides, um, we're coming in with the assistance and help that are needed to move forward. And also, as far as the ancestors connecting to this deep inner wisdom that they carry. And remember, the ancestors are not necessarily, outside of us and disconnected from us. They are a part of us. They're part of our either genetic or spiritual heritage. And so we have that ability as we connect to our angels, our guides, our ancestors, to tap into their love and their peace and their inner wisdom and their intuition and all of that they carry. And oftentimes with other lifetimes that we lived, we walked alongside them and we carried that wisdom and was connected to that wisdom more strongly as well. So I think that's it, Kathi.
That's funny because I want to say ditto as usual when Colleen speaks because yeah, I get a lot of the well, other than the astrological technicalities that she definitely knows. The very first card that came up for me when I was focusing and meditating with spirit is begin anew, which actually looks a little like the butterfly over Colleen's head in her space there, but begin anew. And a lot of people are like, okay, where's the change? Where's the change? Where's the change? Because a lot of my clients have been asking, okay, when are we going to get to that place? And what I keep hearing is patience, breathe, patience, which a lot of us think that patience is becoming a swear word right now because we go patience. Oh, again, I have to be patient. Why do I have to be patient? But it's just like everything takes time and everything has to get escalated before it can get to that space because that's where we are in the universe is being able to see what is being created that we don't align with. And that's a lot of I agree with Colleen when she talks about coming into alignment with yourself because that's the most important thing right now is listening to yourself and just making sure that you know your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings as we're going through this universe and continue to walk in your power, your own power. And then I agree again with Colleen about connecting with your soul tribe because I kept hearing that. The change is coming. We can feel it, we can see it, we can hear it out there. We just need to more align and stop second guessing who we are. And now that a lot of people are evolving into the intuitive, into those amazing gifts that you've had and been given and are aligning through, it's a time for us to just stand up and deliver. Stand up and say, okay, this is who I am. I'm going to learn more about this now because I don't understand it, but I'm just going to check into it and just see what's going on. I'm sure that's why a lot of you are connected to Colleen because you're doing that clearly. And some of you may know more than others, and it doesn't even matter. It's about aligning with ourselves and aligning with spirit and reopening that doorway to, like Colleen had said, connecting with friends, bringing our soul tribe in, those friends of ours that are so incredibly connected. And building sort of our arsenal of people who can love and support us and you as well can love and support them. If they're not supporting your hopes, your dreams, and your thoughts, they're not part of your soul tribe. They're just not. And that's okay because they have their journey to go on. They have their own journey to go on. And ours is focusing on our journey and where do we want to be? Where do we want to grow and evolve in this process and through this process? There's a lot of asking yourself. I'm a severe empath, so I feel energy strongly, incredibly strongly. It's a lot of asking yourself, okay, is this my energy? Because I was happy just a second ago and something's happened between then and now. And it doesn't matter where it came from, but it's like, what's going on? Like, no, this is not my energy. So then just release it. We are those of us that are severe empaths are such magnets right now. You can be walking by somebody who's having an argument, not even paying any attention to them. And all of a sudden you're like the magnet and it goes, and it's it sticks on you to where you're happy, whistling, singing, having a great time. And then all of a sudden you're like, what's going on? So allow yourself. And what the choices that are being made in the universe, I choose not to watch the news, but I truly know that I'm going to hear about it anyway from somebody. You have to try to just say, this is the path we're going. It's going to change because we need to remember that good will always triumph over evil. Always. Light will always be shown through darkness. Always. And I got goosebumps everywhere. We have to remember that. And I know some days it's tricky and it's difficult, but we will get through this. And we will be so much more enlightened by choices that are being made. And again, it's you coming into your own, your openness, your wonder, your beauty that you are and what you are here to give, and figuring that out. Doesn't mean you have to know it all. Colleen and I don't know it all. We know where we're going today. We're here. So, and some days it's just like that. We know where we're going in that step. So hang in there because we're going to get through this. And May is going to really be like the major, like, oh, like there's going to be this beautiful light in May. So we just have to, it's a little slow this month. That's okay. I'll take it. Compared to March, I'll take April. Just going to say April was difficult to get through. And it's funny because we had a little party at my space, me and my students. The first day, I just happened to be having a class that day. I'm like, oh, let's stand up and put some music on and dance for a minute. We made it through March. Yay. And just had a little fun with it. But yeah, April's going to be amazing. We're going to get through it. Just hang in there. And with that, I'm just going to stop. Otherwise, I'll keep going on. So I'll
Yes,
give it back to
Kathy and I could talk the whole hour for sure, easily. All right, so we are going to ask, some of you are on camera. You can raise your actual hand. Some of you are not on camera. You can raise your etheric hand. If anybody wants a mini reading, just let us know by raising your hand. Kathy and I usually just let spirit guide us to who we're going to pick for today. And also know that when we do choose somebody to do mini readings for, we're going to ask for your date of birth. That's more for me. So I can kind of go into that cycle of energy that you're in, look at that kind of vibration through the date of birth. And then we'll ask you if you have a specific question or concern, or if you would like us to just kind of see what your angels and guides want to share with you today. So Kathy, I'm going to let Kathy choose first.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Kathy.
I thought you were just going to keep going. I'm like, okay.
No, no.
Um, Let me see. Ooh, so funny. I don't know why I'm feeling this, but I'm feeling a lot of desperation out there. Like, pick me, please, pick me,
I
please, please,
know.
please. So I'm like, oh no, 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 no. Let's not look at that. Um, oh, somebody clicked with me, and I'm just trying to find her from the moment she came in. Gabrielle.
Okay. Is there two? Was there two? Because it seems like I kept letting.
Gabrielle that has like a white turtlenecky thing on. So I'm just gonna say that. I don't know if there's another
Okay.
Gabrielle
Yeah, I
out
don't
there.
know. Maybe they just kept getting knocked out because I let in Gabrielle like 3 times or something, and I didn't know if it
Oh,
was the same one. Okay.
I did get knocked out a couple times, so
oh, okay.
Okay,
I do have a
Gabrielle.
turtleneck on. I don't know if it's me, but
Well, I
Yes.
said the one with the turtleneck on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's you, girl. So can you
Okay.
give me your date of birth, Gabrielle?
May 1st, 1990.
Oh, you just had a no, you have a birthday coming up, May 1st,
happy
1990.
early birthday.
Yeah, happy early birthday. And do you have a specific question or concern, or just see what your angels and guides have to say?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna try not to cry, but that's probably not gonna happen.
I can feel that. That's why I'm nodding my head. I'm going, it's okay. Just let it go. Just
Um,
bring it on out.
okay, so it's like I guess like the short question would be um like what's really going on in my relationship? Um, I have a significant other who I've been with for 3 years, and we've like worked through some really hard stuff together. Um, and like he had like, am I allowed to like give a little backstory, or no? Do you just need me to like
If
keep it?
you can, if you want to, that's kind of what I would say. But if you start to give a little too much, I'm going to stop you.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, actually, what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to go because I'm like, I can feel this
Oh,
heart
okay.
pain. And I don't know if
Okay.
you continue with your story, if that heart pain is only going to get bigger. So I'm just going to say that. So
Okay.
it's interesting because the very first card that came up, and that's why I was nodding my head, was this card. And I don't always like go with the line under because I don't relate to that, but I relate to because I'm very visual. So I relate to that a lot. And I was like, oh, and I keep hearing, are you open to hearing everything? I'm going to ask you that first.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. because I just ask, when it comes to love, it's a tricky situation for most of us. So I'll just say that. Sometimes we think we want to hear it, but we really don't want to hear it. So I just always ask when it comes to something that I feel might be a little technical.
Yeah.
So what I keep hearing in my head is, it's funny how we said songs earlier, the morning, good morning song. I'm hearing, and I know this, I hear it this way, and I know these are not the lyrics, so I'm going to say that first, but I hear chain, chain, chains. It's chain, chain, chains, but it's
Chain of
change, change,
Fools.
change is what I keep hearing. And I feel like you're evolving and growing and shifting. And I feel like your partner, even though they're growing and shifting a little, is not sort of in alignment with you, is what it feels like to me. And what I keep getting from that. It's about this sort of, we always know that when we fall in love with somebody, we come to them for a reason, and we are shared together for a reason, that we grow and evolve for a reason. And sometimes it lasts forever. And sometimes it's because we needed to come back and either disconnect a soul contract, or to right a wrong from a past life. There's a lot of that. I feel like with you and your partner, there's a lot of intense growth with you and your partner, because I can feel that. But I also feel that you're evolving forward, and they're not. They've sort of, like, it feels almost like they've reached their limit, and they're grounding really intensely in where they are right at the moment. So again, they're not saying it's going to end. They're not giving me that. So I'm just going to say that right up front. But what they're saying is that there's growth that needs to be done. But if this person is not willing to go forward with you, it's time to take your next step. It's time for you to figure out where you want to go and where you want to be. Do you want to continue to be grounded in a situation that is not feeling right, that is not working for you? It's almost like, the friend that we've had since, we were young. And then we both get to that path to where it's time to grow and evolve, and that you can only grow and evolve if you continue to go forward. And I'm going to tell you right now, and you probably already know this, Gabrielle, you are the key component right now in this process. You're the one that needs to share your light. You're the one that needs to keep moving forward. And I know it's not easy. I have a husband of many, many years. It's not easy when spirit comes to you and says, either he grows or you're walking by yourself. And it'll be 44 years we've been together this year. So it's not easy when you hear that, or even just when you sense or feel it. And this is where you are. You are at that crossroads of being able to decide, where do I want to go? And for a while you have been feeling this is not working. I keep trying to fix it. I keep trying. You're a healer. I'm sure you probably know that, correct?
Well,
it's one of the things you are. It doesn't mean it's the only thing you are.
Okay.
So you keep trying to fix it, and you keep seeing things, and you go, oh, we can fix that. It gets to the point to where you cannot fix their growth, their pain, their hurt. You cannot fix it. It is for them to go on their journey, figure it out, and fix it. You're at that place where you can no longer share that energy. Your energy is being drained so much by this connection that it's not helping you to evolve and grow and expand and be the brilliant light that you are. And that's where you really need to go. And you will. And that doesn't mean you have to do it today, because we are funny people. We do take our time with things. But again, it's just what I'm seeing. I will also tell you, because I'm a good one for looking at the end of your life, and I'm not going to share when that is. They never share when that technically is. But when I get a sense of the end of your life, have you been with someone for a really long time? And I'm going to tell you, you have a relationship that's waiting for you, because you've been with somebody for a really long time, but it's not the person you're with now. Just to put it honestly. But it's always nice to know that we've got somebody else out there, even though we're with somebody. Because I think for myself, I'm just going to speak for myself. Nobody wants to walk this path alone. Nobody wants to be alone in this lifetime. I don't care who it is. It's whether it's me or somebody else. We always want somebody to share our happy times, our joy times, our sad times. We always want that. But as healers, we tend to look at people and want to fix everybody before we fix ourselves, because I'd rather work on you than work on myself. Because you're easier to work on than if I have to work on myself. So it's putting that out there. And there's also like something that to kind of sidestep a little bit from the relationship part. There's a choice that you need to make for yourself as far as your career goes, because I keep getting this little and I think it really comes to you deciding I want to go this way. Like I want to go this way instead of doing what I've done. There's growth for you right now as far as your career also. So just kind of take a moment and kind of focus on that for a minute. If this is getting too overwhelming for you, focus on your career for a minute, to see because there's great opportunities and great growth there for you.
Am I able to talk?
You can say something.
Okay. Yeah, so basically I like we went through counseling a couple years ago because he had like lied to me about something in his past, and but I like chose to stay and we worked on it, and like I just had a lot of healing to do, and I feel like I still was like holding on to this thing that he did and like felt like I couldn't fully heal. And but I was trying, and we like seemed to be like growing stronger. But like for me, I feel like I still had like some more inner work to do. Even though I was happy that we were like still together and working through it. And then I lost my job, and I'd been unemployed for like 8 months, and I finally like got like two jobs. Like one is like a part-time job, and then another is like more of like a strong foundation of like a career job and I like just started them last week. And after we like celebrated our 3-year anniversary last week, and he decides he needs some space and like a break, and because he feels like we've got disconnected and like haven't been like as loving to each other. And I'm thinking like, well, I know where my responsibility lies, because I'm sure that like my insecurity over like the past combined with new insecurity over not having a job and feeling unsure and scared, like probably impacted the like my way of being in the relationship. And okay, sorry, Grace, you don't have to listen to me. But anyway, sorry, I don't want to keep, taking up group time, but sometimes I feel like it's important for me to explain where I'm at, because it's like if I work through something with someone and then suddenly I'm like, but we worked so hard to get to where we are, like, don't you want to like give this a chance? So
This is a healing space. It's easy for Colleen and I to come on here and just do a reading after a reading after a reading, but we also are human. And we also want to give you the space to heal, because this is also a healing space and a safe space. So I just want to say that to everyone that's watching. We would give you the time just as much as we're giving Gabrielle the time. So please, please just honor that. And if you don't care for it, you have your choice to stay or to sign off. So I'm just going to say that all of us need help. All of us are in a time where we need people. So anyway, enough of that. So Gabrielle, I'm sorry that you're going through what you're going through, for sure. I wish I had better news right now, but it feels as though, Spirit's trying to get you to focus more on yourself, which is exactly what you're doing. So I commend you for that, because it's not easy to do that. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Colleen so that Colleen can have time to share her reading.
Thank you. So I do feel a lot of what Kathi was saying is definitely on point, Gabrielle. First of all, I want to start like with that healing energy that Kathi mentioned that you have. When I was talking about ancestral like healing or whatnot and connecting with the ancestors, I feel like you have a great ability to connect with that inner aspect of your ancestors and that inner aspect of your self. You have this deep kind of knowledge and wisdom about you that you're able to bring forth as part of healing for yourself, but also healing for others. So then, the first thing they said to me was that there was a need for you to kind of love yourself, accept yourself, respect yourself. They were talking about this self-love kind of aspect. that was needing to be had. When it comes to the relationship, they were showing almost like this balancing act that you've been having to move through, like needing to try to stay balanced and keep the relationship balanced and whatnot. A lot of this transmuting of old pain and old stories and whatnot. They were showing as far as you, maybe him, the relationship itself. I will say it made sense when you said that I think I don't remember how you phrased it, but that he wanted to take a break or something like that, because two of the cards that came out for me regarding the relationship was pause, that there was a pause. That makes sense regarding what you said now. And then the other card was solitude, that there was a need for, again, alone time and solitude. However, as I looked further, I had two decks that I use just for relationship readings only. And I picked up the first deck. And when I first started shuffling, a card just immediately flew out. And it was a card that you probably don't want to see, but it says no. And this is a big deck. This is like, I don't know how many cards, 70, 80 cards in this deck. And there's only one no in it and one yes. And so the no card came out. And, it felt like this, as Kathi mentioned, it doesn't feel like this relationship is aligned for you any longer. They were showing, again, this need for self-love, self-respect, and that in doing that, you were going to open yourself up, or there was a need to open yourself up to receive what it is that you truly want and deserve. It doesn't mean other people are bad people when relationships have problems and don't work out, right? It's just that you're in a space, you have certain characteristics and energies, and you want and desire certain things in a relationship. And maybe the other person wants and needs something slightly different. And so sometimes we start to grow apart because of that. We've learned what we can from each other, the soul contract we made. We've mirrored things back to each other to bring healing to each other's soul and spiritual journey. And then sometimes it's just like, okay, I want this, and the other person seems to be veering over in this direction. But they want you to be open to what you want, what you deserve, what you desire within a relationship. They want you to make more empowered choices, and that Kathi was talking about like your career and your destiny path and moving forward and whatnot, paraphrasing what she was saying. I feel like that is possibly the case, is to move into these more empowered choices. You want a relationship. This card came out, fifth dimensional. We've got a man and a woman here. You want a higher vibrational connection. And just like Kathi had mentioned, I feel like because of this inner wisdom and knowledge, this inner connectedness to your own spiritual self that you have, again, you're growing and evolving even more. And maybe this person, maybe he's not ready yet, his soul's not ready yet, or whatever's going on, but you want this. And I don't feel like that's what you're getting. And so, you're kind of holding yourself back from having what you want. And they did show that there was a new beginning, or a potential, let's say, of a new beginning, because you have free will choice, but there's a potential for a new beginning, a new possibility, a new direction for you that will move you into alignment with the type of relationship that you do want. And I don't know if this was a result of you holding back from doing that, or if this was something coming up anyway in regards to the relationship that you're talking about. But they were definitely talking about this storm that was coming. So I feel like, whether this is something that's going to happen, I wouldn't be surprised if there is something, again, this month of April going into the month of May, which I know this is, your birthday month coming up, but it felt like there was something coming up, like something that was going to be like revelation, like the lightning bolt here, right? Could mean just like some sudden revelation, some sudden truth that you have about the relationship and what it is that you want versus what's going on. Or this could mean that there's a challenge coming up, and that challenge is going to gently nudge you in the right direction to get to, what it is that you want, your cosmic purpose here, the truth of your soul's destiny and where you're supposed to be going. I feel like this past birthday year has been a little tumultuous. I feel that energy for the last birthday year, and I feel like there's change coming up in this birthday year as well. But it feels almost I want to say a little less stuck. Like I feel like there was some change and ups and downs last year, but it was like this push-pull sort of energy. And now I feel like as you go into your new birthday cycle here with your birthday on May 1st, there's more change and redirection, which ends up eventually leading to kind of smoother waters. It may not be overnight, but I feel like it's almost like yes, there's going to be sadness and grief and whatnot if you choose with your free will to move in a particular direction. But I feel like eventually it's almost going to be like this. I don't want to use the word relief because that makes it sound like you didn't care about the relationship. But there's almost going to be again this like rebalancing, this the smoother waters that you come into basically, so that you can find this, which is what you desire. So I'm sorry, I know Kathi said sorry too. It's not exactly the happy news we like to give, but that's kind of what came out. Are you okay, Gabrielle?
No.
Yeah, I'm sure not. I'm sorry. But know that to me, things are not absolutely set in stone. Kathi and I, when we read for people, we read as things are in this present moment. And because, especially with relationships, there's two people with two free will choice, energies going on, that there could be, different choices or decisions made by both parties that end up redirecting the energy in a particular way. So it makes it more tricky with a relationship because it takes two people to be in alignment with what they want. Um, but, even with the situation or circumstance, other than relationship, it's still a free will zone. So we can make different choices and decisions. And therefore, there could potentially and possibly be a change from what it looks like in this present moment. However, it does have the feeling like there's a need for you to move on into, new horizons and a new sense of owning your power and being empowered in yourself, I guess. Okay. All right. Thank you for being brave and sharing and for, being here. And I hope that, we can somehow, just all of us here in the group just send you love and light and provide you with some comfort and healing.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, Gabrielle. All right, so my turn to choose. And I immediately, when hands were going up, I actually felt guided to choose CT. So CT, if you can unmute yourself and give us your date of birth.
10/23/88.
I'm sorry, what was the year?
88.
So October 23rd, 1988. And do you have a specific question or concern, or just general to see what your angels and guides have to say?
I would say general, there's a lot of moving pieces. It feels all good stuff, but just kind of I guess I would say in a general sense that like a transition. So just kind of anything around that, anything that's coming up.
Okay, great. And I always let Kathi go first. So Kathi.
I am, the very first thing that came is that I got the begin anew card again, for you, because I always sort of like focus ahead of time as to who's going to be chosen. So it's sort of like, that even though you're going, and I do feel like there's like all of this energy around you, like every piece of your life is moving and shifting
Hmm.
and changing, which I think is a really good thing because I almost feel like you've been waiting for that,
Hmm.
and maybe not all of it, but you've been definitely waiting for some of it. Um, the biggest thing that I keep hearing from spirit is to focus on what it is you really want. Kind of have a feeling this is going to be a line that'll carry through everybody's reading today. Um, is just to truly go within your heart and say, okay, like get out of here because our brain holds all those little gremlins that are like, you're not worthy, you can't have that, and all that. So go into your heart and say, what do I really want? What I see evolving, is that what I really want? Do I want to go grander? Do I want to go bigger? Which I feel like when we're looking at what work you do, you're a healer too, right? Probably know
What's
that.
that?
You're a healer
Yeah, yeah,
also.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. There's something new that you're meant to learn too that I feel like you've been toying with, like, shouldn't I? I would definitely say you should. So
Mhm.
and they're telling me you know what that means. So
Mhm.
I'm just gonna leave it there. But um, you'll learn a lot more. It's not that that's the only thing you have left to learn.
Yeah.
We always continue to learn. Um, but there's something about focusing on when we talk about work, like there's something about settling energy, like almost like, okay, I'm really happy with how this is going, so I'm just going to stay here.
Mhm.
And they want you to expand that to, so, and I'm going to put it the way that I'm getting it. Need to, it's almost like fake it till you make it is what I want to say to you. Like, if you can't believe that this is the way your work is going to go, you just need to be like, well, clearly they believe this is the way my work is going to go. So I'm going to go until I can. And that doesn't mean that you don't take it seriously. It just means if I get into my own head, I'm not worthy to
Mhm.
do this. Like, trust me, this is not where I thought my life would be work wise. I never even thought for a minute this is what I would be doing.
Mhm.
So I totally understand what they're saying. And it took somebody else believing in me and me saying, okay, well, she keeps telling me I'm going to do this. So, all right, we'll just check this out and see. And it just kind of just was so quick to where I didn't even notice when I stopped acting as if and was in. Do you know what I mean? To where I no longer second guess myself. I no longer, I can't, I do check in on myself because I want to stay very grounded and very, focused for all of you. To be the best that I can be, the best connection and channeler for all of you. But so that in that way I still check in. But that's what I keep saying is like take time to like, like they almost show you like moving a few steps and then just taking a minute to say, okay, let me look at this for a minute. Let me just kind of feel this for a minute. Because I know that there's also a part where we get really, really excited, and Colleen knows me all too well with this one. I'm like a little kid. When new things are like, oh, you're never gonna believe what came. You know what I mean? Like I'm like such a kid, which you guys can probably see that already. But yeah, because I love what I do and I love how spirit works with me. And
Mhm.
so I just get so excited like when new things come or when I'm reading for you and like the last piece of the puzzle comes, they're like, oh, I totally get it now. You know what I mean? So it's like find that. Like you're still I know what you used to do for work, I feel was very thinky, like always in your head, thinky. It doesn't mean you're not never
Yeah.
going to use that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I almost want to tell you to like calm that down for a minute and just feel it. Just flow with it. Just jive with it. Dance with it.
Mhm.
Whatever one works for you. Like just kind of like because I feel like you're going to be amazing. You are amazing. It's
Yeah.
not you're gonna be, you are amazing.
Yeah,
But
no,
it's
no.
like
So
you
like what I currently do, I feel that 1,000%. It's very much of like the like professional society says like you should do this thing and like I'm good at it because that's like what I've trained myself to be or whatever. But
right,
this is so second nature now that like it just flows through me and I don't even have to think and I can't wait to do more of it. So like yeah, it's just like a very beginning stages of it, but I know that it will overtake what I'm currently doing and it's not there's no doubt in that. It's just it's very much annoying. But
right.
but it's like going back to the patience that you said earlier, because I just want to do it right now.
Yeah. Always. We always want. When we can feel something coming, it's like, I want it now. Can we give it to me now? Like you're bringing it to me. I can feel it. Bring it to me now. But divine timing is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
We know that it always comes in the time that we're ready to go, that we're ready to take that leap of faith. And I will forewarn you, what you're doing right now is not what you're going to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to evolve into like the grand of what you're going to be
Okay.
doing
Okay.
because you've got some amazing things coming and it's going to move really, really, really fast.
Okay.
Once it starts moving right now, it's almost like you're taking baby step, baby step,
Yeah.
baby
Yeah.
step. And it
Yeah.
feels good. So we kind of like it because at least we know that we're starting. But it's gonna all of a sudden it's gonna take hold and it's just gonna go. And before you know it, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, that was like, this many months ago, and I'm like already here, and that's
Yeah.
crazy. So yeah, just keep going with that. Your space for a relationship is also starting to evolve also.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if you're in one now.
No, but I'm
Um,
ready, and I feel what you're saying.
but I feel like this is your top priority,
Mhm.
is to get into you, to work with you so that your work is in that trajectory of being on point. Love is going to come for you, but it's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little bit like within a year. So
Yeah.
that's not too bad. But yeah, but they don't want anything to mess this up. Like it took them a while to get you there is what I'm hearing. So they're like, we're not messing this up.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep working with him. So yeah, brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Like you right now is such a great time for you. Like it's such a great evolution for you. Just enjoy it and try not to get too thinky about it. So with that, I'm just going to pass it to Colleen. Thank you so much,
Appreciate
CT.
it.
And thank you, Gabrielle, because I didn't get a chance to thank you. She's still here.
Thank you. So CT, would I, tune into your energy, of course, just with your date of birth? I mean, first of all, we know you're a Scorpio, and Scorpios are very clairsentient, which means you feel energies, and whether or not you're aware of that, like you can feel if something feels off. You can feel if there's been something going on in a room that you've stepped into that is now empty. It's like you're a feeler. So pay attention to your gut intuitions, your feelings, your emotional sensitivities to things. Scorpio, however, is also great with business. So it's an interesting thing because they're very intuitive and emotionally sensitive. So there's that aspect of Scorpio. And then there's that business and money and resources and things like that aspect. So they were, just like Kathi said, I feel like you're definitely in this transition space. And they're talking about this balancing act that kind of is happening with you as you're transitioning more into something that's now more aligned with who you're becoming. Um, your your energy as a soul comes in, even though it's Scorpio, and Scorpio is very fixed, which means it's like it's very focused.
Mhm.
But yet your energy comes in also as this very eclectic change, freedom, liberation energy, which is interesting. So I was trying to, that's very two different aspects of who you are. And so I feel like this particular birthday year that you're currently in kind of matches this idea of liberation, freedom, change, and redirection, which is what your soul comes in with. But even though this is a year of change and redirection for you, and I'm talking from last October until this coming October, it's almost again like this push-pull, kind of like what I said with Gabrielle. It's like this push-pull sort of energy. You're on the precipice of wanting change, wanting something new opportunities are like coming, or maybe they have peeked through, but yet there's this patience or one thing they did say was to like formulate a strategy or a plan. This is the push-pull. It's like we want the change, we're ready for the change, we're ready to jump in, but yet we have to take things step by step, and we have to pay attention to the details, and we have to move a little bit more slowly as we're moving forward. But change is happening and change is unfolding. This particular month of April to me is like the closing out of a cycle, a releasing energy. And May is a new beginning energy. So I don't know if there is something that you already know about that's going to be upcoming in May that's new, but
No.
this May would be a great time to initiate something new, start a new plan, plant a new seed, or whatever. The change, I feel like comes in maybe September. September feels like it's a true month of change and redirection for you. And of course, that happens a month or so before your birthday. As you move into that next birthday year, I feel like things start to stabilize and ground and materialize and manifest and focus in a little bit better. And we want change because you want to move into a new direction. But at the same time, I feel like by then, by your birthday, the change has already started to appear, so it can start to kind of stabilize out. Now, it's interesting. This is going to be a big shift of focus here, but in my general message in the beginning, before we started the mini readings, I talked about the ancestors. And then I also mentioned something about Gabrielle tapping into the ancestors. And you also have a message regarding ancestors. So it's very interesting how this is a theme with the ancestors. But for you, it was that your ancestor guides, your ancestors, whether they be again biological or whether they be spiritual ancestors, They came in to let you know that they're helping you with this idea of prosperity, abundance, success, recognition. Um, the blessings that you're seeking, they are helping you with. And they kept on talking about, oh, I have to say this as a side note because it's part of a Scorpio energy and it was something that they came in with. Something about trustworthy people or sticking with people that you trust. And if there's something or someone that you don't trust, make sure you're paying attention to that. So Scorpio sometimes has trust issues. Sometimes they have power and control issues with other people where people try to overpower them or disempower them or even vice versa. So something about, again, people that you trust, know that have your back, know that will support you. Something about that is important. Aside from that, they were showing me the third eye, the sixth chakra, that you were getting a magnification or heightening of your vision, your clairvoyance, your intuitiveness, downloads of information coming to you, again, like the revelations, the aha moments. So pay attention to this because this is on the rise. And then aside from that, they kept showing that being in conscious connection with other people of like mind were important. So I guess that kind of goes back to the trustworthy friend or not trustworthy person. I feel like you're shifting with who you're associating with or who you need to be around. And you're needing to make more conscious connections with people of like mind, sort of like coming to this group today, because your soul is in an awakening. You're in this awakening kind of mindset. But I also think networking with groups of like-minded people are also going to help you with the transitions that you're going through, like career, life path, destiny path wise. Um, so the card that I'm going to show you is Fortune's Wheel. This is like, it's not a tarot deck, but it's like the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot. Fortune's Wheel says luck and right timing. So everything is lining up. Everything is moving the way it's supposed to. The Wheel of Fortune often means that there's good luck, good fortune, good blessings right around the corner. You're in the midst of a shift right now, just like Kathi said. And, this beautiful shift, this Fortune's Wheel is going to bring that prosperity, abundance, clarity, new people that have your back, this kind of victorious sort of energy that you're seeking. So you're very close to it. And like Kathi said, I think once it settles in, it's going to start to move fast. I think the fall, September, October, you're going to feel like a speed up of something happening. So I hope that was helpful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Kathi, I don't know. What do you think? Do we have time to do a really quick another one or no?
I say let's do a quick one because I was going to ask if I could give a message to somebody anyway because I keep getting a message for somebody.
Okay, so your
So,
choice. Who are we choosing?
sassy little happy.
Sassy
By the way, I
little,
love the word sassy.
and it's
I'm gonna
hippie.
say.
It's sassy little hippie.
Oh, hippie, sorry.
Okay,
Like
and
That's
creating a new name for you.
okay.
I'm creating a new
Happy
name
to.
for you.
yes. So sassy little hippie, what is your date of birth?
I'm 6/13/79.
And do you have a specific question or general?
General,
All
open.
right. Okay, good. So go ahead, Kathi. You have a message already.
Even if you ask your question, I was going to give what I was getting for you anyway. I don't know. I don't know if it would have been in alignment with your question. I kept getting every time I looked at your picture. By the way, I love your background. Just going to say that right up front because I have such a connection to trees. It's a tree thing for me. I keep getting this feeling of expansion for you and growing into sort of a new phase that you're not so familiar with, if that makes sense, as far as your work. I'll use air quotes for that. Your work is concerned. There's something about you walking through the fear because kept getting tell her to walk through the fear. That's what I kept hearing in my head. I'm like, okay, if I get to pick her next, all right. While I'm trying to listen to Colleen give a message to CT, I'm like, okay. But yeah, so I just keep getting, and I'm a big one for at this point in my life. If something scares me, like if an opportunity comes to me, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't think that. I just like look at my calendar, go, oh yes, I can do that, and then let the fear come later. You know what I mean? Because it's always worked for me, even when I came on this path, because I didn't know I was going to be on this path. I had just seen, and I know it's going to be funny, but I had just seen a movie that Jim Carrey was in. And right now I can't think of what the name of it is off the top of my head, because I'm not grounded enough to think that way. But I said to myself, okay, I'm going to take risks, but I know me. I'm in fear right now. So I'm going to use that theory. It's a movie where he goes to some meeting and no matter what people ask him, he has to say yes. Yes, man. That's the name of the movie. And I'm like, I'm gonna not to quite the extent that he went, so I'll just say that. But when it came to my career, I was gonna do that. So there's something that I want to tell you, like there's going to be a big opportunity that you feel you're not ready for. I know it's coming for you, and I would tell you, don't think about it. Just if there's a date, if there's a time, just check your calendar and then say, "Yes, I can do that." And then freak out after the fact. Just freak out after the fact. So a lot and there's something about like there's a technique that you do, there's something that you're doing in your current work life that you need, and you have thought of this, because I know you have the thoughts of this, of expanding it and going into this other. Take a minute right now why it's quiet for you and really sit with it and say, call in your guides and say, where can, guide me to clarity as to how I can expand this, how I can move this. And it's going to start to come to you. I almost feel like it's a process that you'll like write down. You'll write down how you want to expand it. You'll write down how you do. Do you do like it feels like it's very calming. So it makes me think of like yoga, tai chi, something in that along that lines. But there's something about taking that premise and putting it with something else. It's so funny. I have a friend who teaches yoga and tai chi. She blends the movements together, so that you're doing like when you go, it's not like technically just yoga, it's not technically just tai chi, it's like blending things together because they fit together. And then she's now created this healing process for herself, to when she does energy work on somebody, she moves some of the movements into that and gets them to move some of the movements to release energy. It's kind of brilliant, just saying. So, but that's almost like what I'm getting for you is something along that line, or that thinking, that movement, that meditation, that calming, that peaceful peace. I know you're a hippie and we want to just dance with no shoes on and, connect with the land. That's pretty much like, that's how I think, because I have a little bit of that, a hippie soul too. So I kind of get that. But right now, I also know that you're also doubting where you are right now. Do not. Our quiet time is always there for a reason. Like when I'm like, okay, where are my clients? Like, gotta pay some bills. Like, come on. And I've been doing this for 23 years with no safety net. My husband's been my safety net, is what I'll say about that. But again, it's like I tell my students all the time, if I can do it, you can do it. But you have to believe you can do it and never doubt. Spirit always has your back. Spirit is never gonna let us down, ever, as long as we don't get in the way. So with that, I was supposed to be quick. With that, I'm going to send it on to Colleen because I'm going to leave it there.
I was like, quick. Okay. So, sassy little hippie, you come in as, a Gemini, right? That's your birthday. You're a Gemini. And you also come in with this energy of kind of humanitarianism, like, and connecting to like nature, animals. It's almost like connecting to nature, animals, and the environment is easier for you sometimes than connecting with people. And the Gemini energy, whenever I see, a Gemini person, I always think of this connection to like the fairy realm, the magical fairy realm or whatnot. So you definitely have that. And they were actually talking about this, that actually they were showing me butterfly, which is new beginnings, which is interesting with the butterfly and new beginnings, because I did pull Archangel Phanuel for you, and it says at the bottom, new beginnings, and it says hope and optimism. So you are on the precipice of something coming in. In fact, your birthday in June will transition the birthday year from endings and letting go and releasing and healing to then the upcoming birthday year, new beginnings, initiating a new cycle, planting new seeds. So you're in this really important 2-year time period of this ending, new beginning kind of phase in your life. However, your angels and guides are saying that as you move into this time of new beginnings, as of your birthday in June, it's also going to be still intermingled with like some endings wrapping up old things, tying up loose ends. There's still going to be a little bit of carryover from the year that you're coming out of, but you're definitely moving into some new beginning stuff. Kathi said something about, I don't know how she said it, but I kind of giggled to myself because I also pulled the courage card because she said something about having courage or standing in your power. I don't know, something. And it says you're going to have this strength as you move into this new beginning, because whatever something new is coming, whatever the new beginning is about, whatever the new seed that has to be planted is, this is like recreating your life. It's like rebirthing your life, rebirthing yourself, rebirthing your path in some way, shape, or form as you move past your birthday into that new cycle. So you're going to have to stand up in your confidence. You're going to have to stand up in your courage. The lion to me is like Leo energy, and Leo rules the solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus chakra is your center of personal power. It's your willpower. It is your confidence and courage, where you are going to be able to like roar like the lion, basically, into whatever this new beginning is all about. They did say, which is why I brought up the fact that you're a Gemini in the beginning. They did say something about learning something new. Like, I don't know if you're going to a class, reading a book, taking attending some lectures or something, or maybe it's just spiritual learning, metaphoric. So, but and Gemini's all about learning. Like, it's all about give me some more information, and Gemini's love to learn a little bit about a lot of different things. But I saw like this learning process that was going to be needed. And the power of community. Again, the community factor. Geminis are very social beings, speaking, teaching, writing, networking, connecting with other people. So there's something about involving yourself and networking yourself with community of like-minded souls. Maybe you're starting a community, maybe that is maybe a dream of yours. It's like, let's go out in nature and let's build like a nature center in a community or whatever of people that work off the land and help each other. And, I can just definitely see that kind of energy with you. Um, and they gave me the card that says Dragon's Hoard. Now, it says protecting the future. So what came to my mind though when I turned it over was an astrological thing. It was the dragon's head in astrology is about the future direction of the soul. And it does say protecting the future. So I felt like you need to know where your north node in your chart is. Like, get your astrology chart done, figure out where your north node is, because your north node is the sole direction for you in this lifetime. And since I have got this, and since I got this, and it says future, and we're talking about new beginnings for you, I feel like there's something you need to know about your north node in your astrology chart. And the last message that I got here was wonderful, beautiful. It's called Mother God, and it says miracles in motion. So you are standing on the edge of a whole new energy on some level. There might be old situations that fall away, maybe some old friendships that fall away that just aren't in alignment with who you're becoming and where you're moving into as far as your path. But even if something old falls away, there's going to be a lot of new people, new places, new opportunities, new information, new guidance that's coming in to take its place. And with Mother God, it's a feminine energy, right? We have Father God, we have Mother God. This is Mother God. So this is immersing yourself in the divine feminine of intuition, receptivity, nurturing, mothering, healing sorts of energies, which is to me what your soul comes in with according to your date of birth. It's a very, again, like that humanitarian energy that I talked about and that connection with nature that I talked about. So as you follow your truth, as you follow the calling that is being whispered in your ear, basically, not to be all overly dramatic, but there's going to be miracles unfolding in your life. There's going to be a lot of wonderful new things that are coming into play here for you in the next year to year and a half. Excuse me. Yeah, they're saying year to year and a half. So that's my quick mini reading for you. I hope that was helpful.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. So thank you all so much for attending today. Remember that Kathi and I do readings individually, and we also do team readings together. I call it like a tag team reading where you can get both of us. you can contact either one of us, to set either the individual or the group thing up if you wanted. Check out both Kathi and my, meetup pages or website pages, or follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever to see what we got going on. We both teach a lot of classes, do a lot of lectures, speaking engagements. So I hope we all, get to see you again in some future thing. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I send you lots of love and light. Kathi, you want to say any send-offs?
Thank you so much for being with us today. It definitely was a blessing and an honor to read for you, for those that we do. If you didn't get a reading, but you heard things that resonate with you, that's kind of Spirit's postcard to you to say, well, here you go. This is for you too. So
Yes.
just remember that. And thank you again. And
Yeah.
again, intuitivecat.com, intuitivecat@gmail.com. You can always reach out to me. I'm on Facebook also. So yeah.
Great. And sacredsoulempowerment.com or Colleen at sacredsoulempowerment.com is my email address. So thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your weekend and a good week ahead. And hopefully we'll see you again. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you so
Bye,
much.
everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great
Thank
day,
you.
everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.